Okay, guys. Today's we will be discussing 4 to 5 topics. This is consist of if, where, if then, if to, and obvious and first obvious options in SAS. So, Shashi, I think better we think we should start, or should I wait some more time to some other people to come in and join? Okay. So, Shruti, are you getting my voice? Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, as you do know, if and where statements are basically used to filter our data. So there is a little bit difference in between these two. So let's go ahead and check out the differences what they have. So if you do have access to your SaaS software, either online SaaS on demand or whether this is a desktop version. So I want to request you guys just open that up and write the code along with me so that you can execute it and side by side you can take down all the differences. Okay, all of you guys have written this code. Okay, guys. So should I start if you have read it? Okay. Okay, if you guys execute this code by pressing F3 or by selecting and sub by pressing submit button, you can go to the log window and what happened to this? Okay. Can you can you guys please open these both of data set and find out the differences between the output? And if anyone find out the difference, can you please list those difference to me? So these are the two data sets that I put along side by side so that you can take a look at it and find out the differences. Does anyone found any difference between the outputs? Guys, I want to request all of you guys, if you are joining, then please feel free to speak because if I'm not getting response, these are the very small topics, and this will gonna take a very long time to understand all of these topics to you.
Arun, it is same.
Okay, so you have executed it. So did you find any differences or?
I have executed, but by the time I could open, you have already opened it, so it is same. It looks to
Okay,
be same.
okay. So literally there is a no difference between the outputs of these two data sets. So the point that why did I wrote this code is that because let me find out these two. Okay. So if you go ahead and check out your log window for both of these codes, you can see in the if statement the whole of the data sets comes into the PDV with 19 observations, and in the where statement, as you can see, there are only 12 observation read from the data set. So actually 12 observations comes into the PDV in the where case statement, and in the if case statement there are around 19 observation read from the data. Okay, so the main point is that whenever a existing variable is in your data and you want to filter your data on that particular variable, then you should use where statement because this is very efficient. So what exactly where statement do is it filter the data before comes to the PDV, and those filter data get processed into the PDV according to the condition that you applied, or any of the flags that you want to create, or new variables that are created into the PDV and then finally executed, and it will make you a new data set. Okay, what does if statement do is it bring all of the data into the memory, and after that the filtration is done into the PDV. After that, whatever the new variables that you want to create, that side by side get created into the PDV, and at the execution phase that new data set is being created. Okay, so let's take another example so you would better understand. So suppose say you are a teacher of a class, and you do have around
1 minute. Can you insert put underscore all a statement before the run statement in
uh,
both of the program?
okay, let me do.
Uh, Before of the run program, run statement.
Okay, okay. So whenever you guys want to seek like what exactly is going in the backend in the into the PDB, you must use a put statement and you can execute it. Let's just run it side by side so you can check out the long window. Okay, the text is a little bit high. Let me use the fonts just small. So I think you guys can now see my log window properly. Okay, so the main point is that to put this put statement into the program is there so that you can take a look at the PDB. So what exactly is going on? Okay, so when you run your if statement program, then what exactly happens is it's start the filtration within the PDB. Okay, so as you can see, like wherever the observation that meets to the condition, it automatically get transferred to the data set that we want to create it. Okay, and as you can see, there are 19 observations that are read from the data. Actually, SAS help class has 19 observation, and in the output we do have around 12 observations. Okay, so exactly this filtration is goes within the PDB. Okay, and when you run this where statement code, there are 12 observation read from the data, and it also has 12 observation within the output. So the filtration is cannot be seen over here, but the filtration is done before the PDB in this case, where in where statement. If you guys did not understand this code, let me put a simple daily life example to you. Suppose say you are a teacher of a class which has around 30 students in the class, and you gave some assignment to the students, and give them a condition that when whoever is scoring like more than 50 can be eligible for the second test. So principal comes to you and asks to you like give me those students name who already score at least 50 or more than 50. So you do have two options. First, within the class, you ask the students who has more than score of 50, raise your hands up. So automatically, those students are your data that automatically pops up, and automatically you can filter those students very easily. And in case of the if statement, you do ask students, let's move to the new class. And after moving to the new class, you ask the students like who scores more than 50, raise your hand. Okay, so this new class is your memory, and so if you bring whole of your data into the memory and start then filtering process, it will totally wastage of your resources. But if you do filtration before the data comes into the memory, then it will be a best use of your resource. So I believe that this difference can be you know. Okay, so this topic has clear to you, all of you. Okay, Okay, I'm just writing a code so that I was just want to check it like who get understand this code. Okay, so let me change this so that you will not be confused. Okay, so I do have two programs in front of me after discussing this topic. So I do have a data A program, and I do have a data B program along in front of me. So can anyone of you tell, like, if you do really do understand this concept, like which one of these two codes get executed and which one does not, and if which one code if executed then why, if not then why? Okay, data B code will run Shruti saying. Anyone else? Okay, so data B code will execute. So why does not data set A program will not execute? Okay, it is saying it has new variable. Okay.
Uh, Arun, can I tell? Actually, the PDV, the where statement filters before the PDV runs, right?
Right.
That's the reason it doesn't filter in the data A, but
Oh,
in if statement it after. So the new age is calculated and later it runs. So that's the reason
mhm.
the B statement
Okay.
runs. So,
Yes,
yeah,
you guys
I
are right.
told.
You guys are right. So okay. So as Sasi is saying, okay. So the overall concept is that where statement is used for the existing variables that are not a part of the parent data set. Sorry, that are the part of the parent data set. And whenever you create a new variable and you want to take your data filter on that particular variable, then you should have to use if statement. Okay. Okay, guys. So this was the topic for if and where, and this is the very important topic that was being asked to you in the interview, like what is the if state, what is the difference between if and where statement. And okay, so if somehow you tells the interviewer that yes, this is the difference, so he or she definitely would gonna ask you this concept, like he gives you some program and ask you like which one gets executed and which one does not, and how in the back end they get processed. Okay. Okay, let me give you a side by side industry example for the same. So like as I do work into the telecom industry, so we do have a logs of all of the cell phones and the signals that we are getting from the mobile devices. So we do have around more than you can say a billion of records that we need to process on the daily basis. So whenever we create a new variable, suppose say which person does not getting a proper signal, then we have to use the where statement. And if we need to manipulate that particular variable, then we have to do our filtration on the basis of the new variable that we want to create. Okay, so it's okay over here, like it does not consume so much time. So, but when you are dealing with the billions of records, then it creates a very much time for you. Like if you use if statement, that it's gonna take you like more than an hour. If you use the where statement, then it gonna be around 30 minutes for you, 30 minutes or 25 minutes. So it creates a very lots of time when you are dealing with your big data. Okay, so let's move ahead and to the next topic, if and then. Okay. Okay, so if you guys can see this code on my screen, then I just want to recommend you guys just type in within your SAS editor and execute it. Okay, all of you guys have written the code. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry. Shall I start, guys? Okay. Okay. So these are the two outputs that created by these two codes. Okay. So let's take a look alongside by side. So this is your data set A, and this is the output of data set A. As you do know, like whenever we write code into within the data step, like every statement gets executed uh, one by one. Like first of all, that the data statement get executed, then set says help dot class, then if statement, then flex statement, then finally we comes up with the run statement. Okay. So what we are exactly asking SAS to do is that create a new data set A from the data set sashab.class. Okay, and if the age is greater than 12, then put that into data set A, and along side by side, whoever along after that, make a new variable flag equals 1, as you can see. First, it compares the if statement, that where age is greater than 12, only filter out these rows to my new dataset and create a new flag side by side, flag equals 1. Okay, let's move to the dataset B. Like, let's see what is happening. If you can see over here into the dataset B, we are exactly asking SAS to do, if age is greater than 12, then mark the flag 1 and nothing else. As you can see, wherever the age is greater than 12, there is a flag 1. If there is no the age, the condition is not satisfying, then there is a dot over sign. This is a missing value for the numerical. What exactly happening is, uh, first of all, these two statements get executed separately in this program, but within this program, the output of the final dataset does not depends upon this if condition. It just, you know, we use this statement just to create a flag. Whichever the observation is greater than 12, then we go ahead and mark that flag 1, otherwise leave it blank. But in the dataset A statement, we ask the SAS to do filter the rows on the basis of age, and then after that mark a flag one by one. Okay. I will give more examples to you. Just this is the beginning, so that's why maybe it may confusing you. Let's just create a new data. Okay, so if you guys have understand the last code, I may suppose from you guys that you can answer these about these two codes. Like if that data C would execute or not, data data D program would execute or not. Just take a look at it. Just do not write it down and within the SAS editor. Just take a look at it and just let me know like whether whether or whether that this data C program would execute that. As we can see, it get executed, but whether this one has the desired output that we want to have or not. Okay, both will execute. Okay, let me just open this data set. Data set C is not opening, but yes, data D is opening. So data D, we have the desired output, but we do have written the code something like that, but we did not get the same output as like D. Can anyone tell me like why it is happening? Because simultaneously it contradicting. Okay, two if statements. Okay, we also do have two statements over here. Why they does not get contradicted? Okay, let me explain to you guys. Does anyone wants to speak? Okay.
Arun, is it because for the data set C, from the first if statement, a
Mm-hmm.
value default has already been assigned wherever sex is F?
Mm-hmm.
Just giving it a shot, guessing.
Not getting it, Shreya. What did you say?
Um, C is not executing. Is it because when the first if statement is executed,
Mm-hmm.
it assigns a flag 1 wherever sex is M, but it also assigns a default value wherever sex is F. So a
Okay.
value is already assigned wherever sex is F
No,
with
no.
the first if.
These are not assigning. These are just creating a filtration. These are called assigning statements. These, as you can see, that I just highlighted, flag
Yeah.
one and flag two. But these are the comparisons statement that if the variable is still existing within your data, then if you are comparing these, then this is called a filtration or comparison statements. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you guys what is happening exactly over here. Like your desired output was like something like the D data set, but you write a code like that, but you did not get the output. Why is it so? It is because you are asking SAS to just get this data into the PDB. Data comes into the. My handwriting is not very much neat, but this comes to the into the PDB. Okay, whenever the that first row of this data comes, it verifies uh, the value of the sex. If the sex value is m, okay, if sex value is m, then it side by side create a flag one. This is your flag variable, this is your sex variable. Okay, and after that, within this same row, you are asking is that if sex equals f, flag equals 2, because it is already that then it cannot be f. Okay, what exactly is happening is, if you write multiple if statements, then both of these statements should be true for the same observation. If both of these two separately if statements are not true, then definitely you would not have the desired output within your data. This is your uh, separately two if statements. If both of those these output if statements, sorry, are true, then only you do have the output. Otherwise, it does not. Okay. Let me comes to your next program. The benefit of if then statement is that, like, it exactly holds the observation and compares that observation to the next statement. Whenever a first observation of the sashelp.class observations comes into the PDB, it checks for the values. If sex equals m, then it assign the variable flag equals 1. Okay, and it gets executed. That these observation get transferred to the dataset D, and side by side it also compares. If this observation is true, then also it put it, otherwise it will not. But any of them between these two is true, it will execute it and assign it to the dataset D. These are separate if statements, that both of these two should be true, and these are called if then statement, that either one of them is true, it would execute it. Okay, so all this been clear to you, all of you guys? If this is not still clear to you, you just practice within your SAS editor, because these are the concept. Like, whatever I tell you, it would not give you a clearer picture about the PDB unless you would execute by your own. I just request you to guys just do write your codes within your SAS editor and execute it if you really want to be proficient in this. Okay, so is there anyone had any doubt? Guys, please speak. I'm not getting respond because I don't want you to guys skip any of the topic that you did not understand. Neither of you responding in the chat section and not even able to understand what he's saying. Okay. Okay, let's move to another important topic. If then we have done, if do I forget one statement effect. Yes, Wali, I would give it to you after the class, okay? Okay, let me ask you guys. Full start. Okay, so don't write this code within your SAS editor and just let me know. Like, suppose say within SAS help class, I do have around 19 observations. Okay. Okay. So can anyone of you tell me like which one has the same observations, 19 observations?
First one.
Okay. Shrey is in first options. Okay. Let's execute it. If these topics are very clear to you, you can go ahead and okay. So E does not have the 19 observations. F, yes, F does have around 19 observations. Now you guys tell me like why is it happening? Like I already covered this topic to you. This is the separate if statement. Just take a look at this. It actually filters the data on the age value first, then you know assign these age values who are greater than 14 then equals dot. But in this if then condition, it compares the same observation with this condition. If this true, then it assigns the value dot. If does not, then it leaves the age variable as like this. Akshay is saying is that in E it first check the condition. If it's true, then only it execute, else not. Somehow you are right, Akshay, but the thing is that like as you guys do know, like PDB keeps on changing for every observation. Okay, execution is not something is that like you did not comes up with the observations. Uh, oh, sorry, just a second. The data step will execute it even if this condition would not be true. But the point is that it may have the observation. It may does not have the observation, but the data step will still execute it. As you can see, if I move to my log before, as you can see, there was a code that I did that has zero observation. As you can see over here, like both of each statement cannot be true at the same time, but the data steps still executed. Okay, so now you guys get the difference between these two. If you get it, I would move ahead and tell you guys the next concept. What interviewer does in the interview is they take your resume, and in the blank paper side they write this code and ask you like which one does has the exact 19 observation and which one does not have the exact 19 observations. And some of the interviewers ask you to write the code along side by side. They hardly ask you the theoretical questions. If the interviewer is taking your interview on telephonic, then it may ask theoretical questions. But even in the telephonic interview, the interviewer tells you to write the code on the notepad and ask you what is the output. So all of you guys understand these between differences between these two, or should I move ahead? Guys, I am audible to you guys or not?
Yes, Arun, you are audible.
Okay, so please speak. Why are all of you are so silent? Because it does not seem like this class is alive.
Okay, I have been chatting. You want me to mute and speak? I'll do it.
Okay, no issues. Because neither of you are chatting, no, neither of you are speaking. I don't know what's going on. Oh, okay, my chat was. I did not act off, so I'm so sorry for this. Okay, okay. So here is my dataset F. Whoever the age value is greater than or equal to 14, it has been assigned to the missing values. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's move to the if to concept, and we do finish. And after that, there is another statement if else if other, and after that we would be finished with this topic. Okay. Suppose say I am creating a flag variable over here. Flag equals 1. Okay. I close the data set and run this code. Okay, so flags get created according to the values of age. Okay, age is greater than equal to 14, then flag is F, otherwise it is missing value. Okay, and side by side I also wants to create another variable. I don't want to have two variables, like suppose say value equals to, would that execute or not? Would this code data F one code would execute it, or would it would come with an error? Because this is a new topic for you guys, but I'm just giving you a puzzle so that you can understand it. If you go ahead and execute the same one, but it would come with an error, because if then statement is only limited for the a single variable. Okay, have you guys read about Proc print yet or not? I believe Shashi did cover this topic to you. Okay. Okay, so this is my output data set. This is my parent data set, and according to these age values, I just want to create multiple variables and multiple flags. Okay, so for this, I we have a if do statement like this. Let me leave it like this so that you can. If you go ahead and execute this code, this would gives you this type of output. I created three variables: flag, value, and race by using if do statement. And if you guys have noticed, by writing the code within the base SAS, the keywords are a very daily life keywords. what exactly we are asking SAS to do, like if you find age greater than or equal to 14, then do these things. That's with, within this highlighted. Do is kind of a loop, and let me just give you a overview of this loop. Do actually starts with a do keyword, and it has some other options as well. and and even if you have do some Shruti, just a second, I will give you the output. Okay. And if you do have some programming background within your 12th standard, or after even in your graduation, you do know, like whichever loop that you are starting, it should be ended after a putting end keyword, or some other language do have some other keyword, but all the loops should be ended. Otherwise, it would be a continued infinite loop. Okay. So whatever the statement that you return in between these two keywords, this would get executed. Okay. I do the same over here. I ask SAS to do, like if you find the age greater than or equal to 14, then do. Do what? Creating these three flags. After creating these three flags, that loop should be ended, and uh, we are done with done with our program. So this is our output data set. As Shruti is asking, output data set. Shruti, you did get the output? Okay, to statement. Not really the variable concept, because we are running into a very basic, you know, we are running just a very basic, flags. Even we do it into another way as well, just to let you guys to understand this concept. I write it because this do concept is not exactly done like this actually, if you do have multiple observation of the same kind, and you do want to find like which one is maximum within within the group, these kind of things exactly requires that do statement. But as of now, you can just to guys to understand like what exactly if do statement do is. If you want, I can write the code for multiple group statements, so that you can take a look at it and just make your own interpretation. If you want, I can write it, but this code would not be understandable to you guys, because as of now you are new to SAS. And let me just give you an example to you. Suppose say I do have suppose say I do have two variables. I'm just giving an example so that you can better interpret this do concept in industry. Where do we use it? Suppose say I have a variable that has consist of duplicate values within the same variable. As you can see, suppose say this is my class variable. Okay. And this is my score. Okay. Suppose say if a business person wants to ask like this is my plan, this is my class A people, this is my class B peoples, and this is my class C people. Okay, and he wants to have a value and maximum value for all of these groups individually. Like for the first one, the maximum value is 4. Output should be like that. And for the 2, it is just a single, so it is 4. And it is for 3, it is 7. So what we exactly do is we run the do loop statement, and we ask the SAS to find out the maximum, minimum, or whatever our business process is. We do the filtration based on this data. We filter on this data. This is how do we use if do concept within the industry. But as of now, if you are not understanding the output, then don't be worry. You will be given questions on this. You will understand it. Okay. So, okay, if do and if else. Okay, this is also same like if and where, and this is also a very good concept. GH. Okay, what I did in data G, yes, this one is this one. Okay, what I did is wherever the value of age is greater than 14, I delete the values of sex. As you can see, this is a space over there for characters. It is a space. Okay. Okay, so my business person asked me like wherever the person sex value is m, just make those observation as a flag one, and those who have sex value f, make those flag two. Okay, and I wrote the code like this, but I was not aware of that there is a missing value in the sex variable. So if I go ahead and executed it, see what is the output. Wherever sex value is m, then there is a flag 1. For females, this is a variable value is 2. But see this contradiction on this observation. Even if sex value is missing, it's still assigned the flag variable equals 2. But my business person asked me like if the sex value is male, then there should be a flag equals 1 other, and for the females it should be 2. But for these also I did get assigned with a flag 2, which I does not want to suppose. Okay, what exactly happens is like that. Let me give you a painting like this. Okay, so this is your if statement, and this is your else statement. Okay, and here it is your condition. Okay, so whenever a value get satisfied with the value, it get transferred to the if statement and assigned to the a value of flag. Okay, in and also into the else statement, if the condition is not true, whatever comes, the data that is not true, it assigned to a different variable. This is called flag 2, as we did sign this. But if we write the code into the same uh, data step like this, hi, if you go ahead and execute this one code, you can see, like, for those observation where sex value is missing, it is also missing. What I did is, I also compares the condition over here. I also put a condition over here that if the if statement condition is true, it assigned with a flag 1. If the data is not meet to the if condition, it goes to the else if statement, and whatever the statement that we return into the else if statement gets assigned to a different flag. Okay, so this is the difference between else and else if. Whatever the data other than the if condition in the else statement get assigned to a different flag, but if we assign to else if statement, then also that same variable can be compared with some particular value. Okay, okay, so if else if do statement, I have done this. Okay, so does anyone have any doubt till now? Akshay is saying no. Okay, okay, let's move to a new concept. This is you can even say this is slicing concept. The fancy words are slicing and dicing. Dicing is used for keep drop. These are the industry fancy words, and slicings are based on the observations. If someone asks you, I want to slice my data, it tells you indirectly is that they want the observation control. They want all of the variables, but they does want control on the observations. If someone is saying is that, like, I want to dice this data, then indirectly he is saying need to use keep and drop statements, like he does want to control on the variables. Okay, okay, Neha is saying okay, all of you say no doubt. Okay, Okay, guys. So I think you guys do know about it. Keep and drop statement, right?
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. So I did have a prop print statement. Let me go ahead and execute this here. Yes, here it is. Okay. Okay, someone asked me I just want to see first five observation of this data. I don't want like a full observation like a 19 observation to get print out in my new data set, or I just want to take a view of just five observations. Like these controls should be necessary. Like if you do have around like a billion of rows, then definitely you don't want to all of these rows get printed in your output if you just want to have a quick sample of your data. Okay, so here is the concept of slicing. Okay, so it is the slicing is consist of two keywords. This is your first OBS and second one is your OBS. OBS stands for observation, and first is your just to mark where the observation you wants to get printed. Okay, suppose if I run data A inserts help class. Okay, run like that. Okay, so you get only five observations. As you can go to log and do note about these guys, some of the options that some of the statements can be used also as an option. So in the dataset options you can write in pair of braces. If you do know about it, the where statement, I also can filter the data like this as well. I think should be like this. I'm not sure about it, but yes. Oh, sorry. Generate. Yes. I also can write the where statement, where as a statement as well, and where as an option as well. So whenever interviewer get to say like I want to use where as an option, so then that time don't be get confused. This is where as an option. If I go ahead and write like after the set statement, this is called as a statement. Okay, some of the statements can also be used as an option. Okay. Okay, so first OBS exactly tells you this starts with the first observation and go till fifth observation and gives me a new data set called name A. Okay, so ultimately you do have around five observations. Okay, and if you do some research on these observations, you can do that. And okay, if someone asks you like I want around 9 observation to 13 observations. You can also do that. Okay, so it also has maybe there's error. Okay. Okay. That's an error. Okay. Okay, guys. So these were the topics that I was being assigned for today. If someone has any doubt till now, you can ask me. I hope you guys did understand
Arun,
about.
Arun, can you show it with where option? Because
Uh, like you want me to write this code again? Where statement?
yeah,
Where of?
with as a where option.
Okay.
Yeah, Arun, can you try with the if and where statement in the pro print?
Okay. Yes. Data C sets as output class. And this one has the syntax like that. In the statement we write is like this, where age is greater than, but over here we also use a in one extra equal sign. Okay, so where, suppose say where x equals n.
Arun, can we not use where greater than where age greater than?
Yeah, sure.
For that, I have.
Yeah, this is all for the filtration process. Whatever the filtration keywords you can use it. Like suppose say greater than equal to 10, or suppose say 14.
Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead and check it. This one is working. Okay. Okay, and Shashi was asking me to write property data equals as dot class. Okay, where age is greater than equal 14. Yes, Shashi exactly tells me a new concept, so I exactly forget about it. Okay, so guys, tell me which one of like both these two proc codes will execute it. Maybe Shashi did cover this thing, but I'm not sure about it.
Anybody can you yeah, anybody can you explain in these two programs in two pro print, one pro print give an error and why give an error, why? Anybody can explain?
Okay, let me execute it so that you can take the differences. First one is will execute Shruti is saying. Okay, so as you can see, the observation column as well get give me the information about like which observation particularly is around 14, like first observation, first, fifth, eighth, 12th. Okay, but in case of if statement, it would not get executed. It gives you an error. Statement is not valid or it is used out of proper order. This is a thumb rule, like in the whatever the proc that you are dealing in the future, or even in the proc sequel or into the advanced SAS, or whatever the proc that, like there are around more than 1,000 procs that are available in the SAS. There is a thumb rule that whenever you get reach to a point where you need to filter your data, then you should omit to use of if statement. You have to use where statement because procs are only limited to use where statement. What exactly procs do is they brings all of the data that are available on this data comes to the memory and starts whatever the operation that we want to do. So SAS done a very good thing, like if we did not filter our data before it comes to the memory, it will burst our resources. Suppose if I am dealing with 3 GB of data, and if I'm you know using if statement, and if SAS does not giving me that limitation, then it comes to the memory. Suppose my PC size around 4 GB of RAM, and I'm bringing my 3 GB of data within the RAM, and SAS also requires around 4 times of the size of that data to get processed. So it alternatively it needs around 12 GB of your memory. So
Arun, can I explain one thing?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, we know that where a statement
Mm-hmm.
will work before PDV,
Mm-hmm.
but if a statement work on the PDV.
Right.
But in Proc, yeah, so cause of that, where when we use where statement in between the Proc step, that time not so any type of error. But when you use the if statement in between the Proc print procedure,
Mm-hmm.
that time it shows some error.
Yes.
It means if statement work on the PDV, but the procedure this can't work on the PDV. Because of that, it shows some error.
Yes, and even I think that PDV is only limited to the data stack there, and PDV is not get created within the Pro, so that's why it's also giving you the error.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Wally is saying I was not available. I'm not sure about whether it was she or me. So Wally, is there any doubt you have, or still I should I need to repeat it?
No, no, no. I got connected again. No
Oh,
problem.
okay. So, is there anyone else who did not get any of the concept till now, or want to discuss any of the topic that you did not get it? And I just want to request you to guys, like kindly revise the whatever that you have learned by today. Otherwise, after the 2 or 3 days, it will skip out of your memory. So believe me, if you are not revising the concept that we just did today, you will gonna be skip out of this.